Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you to the Brockton Resident Forum. Today is Sunday, December 2021, and the purpose of the Brockton Resident Forum is to disseminate information that is an outcome of City Council meetings to the public. Today, we are accompanied with Mark Osborne, Michelle Henson. We have my neighbor Wislin on the line. I want to say thank you so much for joining. And we also have the honor and pleasure for the first time of having John Hayes on the line with us. So he's dialing in. Now, today, what we're going to focus on is we're going to narrowly focus in on the Brockton Finance Committee meeting. By the way, John, did you want to just say hello and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm John Hayes. I'm the president of the Edgar Park Neighborhood Association. Full-time Brockton resident now, and just glad to be here. I'm sorry, I'm fighting off a cat. I got a new kitten. I apologize. I'm struggling here.
No worries. Thank you so much, John. Cool, great. So I'm going to go ahead and begin by sharing my screen where we're going to discuss the Finance Committee meeting that's taking place or scheduled to take place on a Monday, December 20th. And here we're looking at how it's advertised on the Brockton City website. And we can see it's advertised to take place from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Monday, December 20th. Here we have the Finance Committee meeting agenda. And when we look at this, we can see there's a total of 5 items scheduled for discussion. First, there's an order. The City Council authorized the total proposed approval of $7,587.96. And from the Finance Department, purchase of services. And that's to the Public Consulting Group Incorporated. This will be used to pay an invoice dated April 28th, 2021. So has anyone ever heard of the Public Consulting Group or know what services they rendered or provided to the City of Brockton?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well, it should be fascinating to observe if any of our city councilors know too. So it'd be great to find
or ask, not just know, but let's see who asks.
Yes, let's see if they ask. So pay attention, everybody. The Public Consulting Group. What services do they provide to the City of Brockton? We want to know. Okay, great. Moving forward, item number 2, order this that the City Council authorize the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the total amount of $150,000. This is regarding an activity to the Brockton Police Department, the Kevin and Avante program, reducing injury and death of missing individuals with dementia and developmental disabilities grant award fund. These grant funds will be used to reintroduce the Project Lifesaver program into the Brockton Police Department. Locative bracelets and accessories will be purchased to be distributed to individuals with dementia or developmental disabilities. Corresponding receivers will be purchased for police station. Project Lifesaver training will be provided to 8 officers. All sworn staff and cadets can be trained in the program, and overtime for bi-monthly battery checks, which will also serve as family check-ins and resource referral opportunities will be funded. And that looks like a great program. I'll pause. Does anyone want to talk about that? Agenda item 2.
I'm doing the research on it right now. I apologize.
Yeah. No worries.
Oh, it does sound like a great program. That's one thing that I can say, that there are good things in Brockton where they do really try to look out for and help citizens. It reminds me of something the Council of Elders has, where they have, you can have a lockbox put on a door of someone who's alone and at risk, so that they can be checked on. So these are good programs. We definitely need to support them.
Wonderful. Excellent. Okay, so we'll move forward to back to sharing my screen. I just want to. Okay, so number 3, ordered that the City Council authorize the acceptance of a donation of 28.2 acres of vacant land, which I'm still fascinated to find out where this is. It says map C4 lots 12 and 26 off School Street. And then it says that the gentleman, Pembroke, Massachusetts, owned by Richard Clements. The value of this land is $725,000. And to discuss this will be Megan Bridges, the city solicitor, and our interim DPW commissioner. Does anyone want to discuss item 3?
Well, it's interesting. So this land, given generously, is actually in Pembroke. And do we know if it's developed at all, or if it's just trees? I'm just wondering what the origin is and what Brockton could do with a 28-acre parcel in another municipality.
What's the benefit to Brockton residents? What do we get?
I can send an email to the city clerk and I can CC everyone in on it. And we can.
That'd be nice.
Is that okay, John?
That sounds great to me, because I don't know how to search for the plot. I don't see how to find the parcel of land that's being donated.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Sorry, I just had to take my little notes. Okay, agenda item number 4, ordered that the city council authorize the acceptance and expenditure of the total grant funds in the amount of $68,000. This is from the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection regarding recycling dividends program grant to the DPW. The grant funds will be used to provide payments for municipalities that have implemented specific programs and policies proven to maximize reuse, recycling, waste production, and incentives to improve their recycling program. There is no required match for this grant. Okay, that's great. That's awesome. $68,000. Sound like it's going to increase our efforts to recycle here in the city of Brockton. Sounds good. And then number 5, petitions of James Murphy for a license to solicit and canvass on behalf of CC Technologies, a solar and energy storage provider. And I mean, I know so from our last conversation, we talked about, does the city monitor the people they give petitions to who can do door knocking for the purpose of selling, so soliciting. And in my experience, we get a lot of people who solicit in my neighborhood. The one thing that I think was most concerning is that there was one time there was a group, they were selling a water filtration system using the process of osmosis. And what was most concerning to me was that these people, they came in, they had a black box full of technology, and they tested my water, and they did this like little color tie test in front of me and my wife and said, see, you see the color of your water? You don't want your water to be that color. It shows how dirty it is. And then they showed me the water that they were promoting, and they said, you want your color to be like that. And I said, you know what? Hold that thought one moment. And I went to my little workshop, and I pulled out I have a little odometer of my own where I measure water quality. And I dropped that into their little sample of water, and it was surprising, but the water they were promoting was filthy. It actually was dangerous. So we can have up to 300 particles in our water, and it could be safe drinking water. But the question is, what kind of particles are in our water? Well, in this case, these people were promoting an osmosis device that was actually making the water filthy, full of many particles, and they could not explain why. So they packed their technology box up and left. And they asked me if they can come back after they figure out what happened. I said, no, don't come back no more. All right. I was worried that not only could me and my wife's health be at risk, but I was worried these people might be robbing us in the process. And that really made me feel offended. And then I said, people petition and knock on my door.
A lot of these people are just folks in need of employment who get recruited to sell this stuff. So they read what they're told. They only have the information they're given by the vendor. So when you ask a tough question, they can't answer. We had issues with one of those, the last solar company that they let come around, and we kept getting calls from companies with different names, but saying that they were all connected to the other one, and they couldn't keep their information straight in their own files. And it was really, and then it was bad. It was really, really bad, to where it began to feel like harassment when they kept calling or when they kept showing up outside, not realizing there's no appointment. And Yeah, I worry for some of our seniors that they're maybe could be targeted by some of these people, you know? And
Yeah.
people will say it's not city government's job to look out in that way, but I submit that that's not true. If you're going to sign off on somebody going door to door in your community, you should do your due diligence, check them out, know about them before you sign off.
I agree, and actually just observe, sharing the experience a little bit more detail about the experience. I had asked these gentlemen, I said, do you live in Brockton? They said, no, we live in Framingham. They said, we come to Brockton specifically because there are Portuguese speaking people here where that's all they speak. And they were talking about specifically the Portuguese speaking population as well as the Cape Verdean Creole speaking population. And they said, these are the groups of people that we target because we can speak their language. And when I heard that and observed that, I felt very concerned about our residents who might be listening to this type of sales pitch without a system of verifying or validating, and God forbid they're targeting a group of people who may not speak English that well and might be even more at risk for just being a vulnerable member of our society. So
see, that's disturbing as all get out. I mean, that's really, so you're going to tell me that you have people that maybe are new here, and because you can speak their language, you can get their trust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the way I felt. That's why I told them that it's time to pack it up, y'all. Y'all got to go. So all right. So but yeah. So the petition, James Murphy, he's promoting solar energy storage service provider. I wonder what kind of program he's promoting. I wonder if any of our city councils will ask, well, what company are you from where you're promoting solar products? And can you tell us a little bit more about your program and what's unique? Like, what value added service are you really offering for the residents that you'll be petitioning? It'd be interesting to see if we have a city councilor that would, ask it on our behalf. Cool. All right, so we'll move on to other topics. So was there anything else from this agenda that we discussed? There's only 5 topics.
Jamal, I just want to go back to the door-to-door thing. I still don't understand. Is there a requirement to apply for a permit or to advise the city in any way before a private for-profit company goes door-to-door? And is there any exception for nonprofits? I remember this goes way back to 1982 when I ran a crew for Greenpeace on the Cape, going door to door. And so part of my responsibilities, as well as mapping out the routes, and this is all before cell phones and everything like that, but was to go to each city or town police department and inform them as a courtesy, because apparently it wasn't really a requirement back then at all. And they were very happy. They said, good, because that way we won't, respond to some person's, worry just that somebody's walking around with a clipboard. And so I still don't understand, is there in Brockton any requirement of any kind, or they just go door to door no matter what they're peddling?
I think there's I get the impression, Mark, there's a requirement. If they go before the city council, they have to give the name of every person who's working for them. So I think it is some sort of ordinance or something. I'm not sure, but it seems that way.
Yeah. I mean, I would like that. I would like, just to, like Jamal said, prevent possible scams where, people are preying on either older people or people who don't speak the language, only speak one language, etc. There's a lot of room for potential abuse there.
Absolutely. So let's see here. So, and that's something. So back to your original question, Mark. What are the city requirements? Once again, I mean, that could be an action point. I'm happy to send an email to our city clerk, Tim Cruz. And the reason why I'm going to highlight why I always refer to the city clerk, because no city action can be authorized and approved or confirmed as being executed on if the city clerk doesn't apply their seal to that activity. That includes the outcome of city council meetings, that includes the creation of a city council meeting agenda. All that has to go through the city clerk's office. Therefore, a central point of contact to learn more about city government is the city clerk's office. So let's see here. Other topics, hot topics. I want to open up the forum. Does anyone have hot topics, new topics they'd like to discuss regarding the city of Brockton?
I don't know, folks probably know this. John, you may know this, but I had no idea that kids, up at the school were walking to school. They don't have coats, so I know that some folks are collecting coats and taking them up to the high school. So I had hoped to go on Friday, but as you saw, Friday wasn't an opportune day to go up there. So I'm hoping to drop off a couple of things on Monday. But yeah, try to get things that's in their hands before they're out for the break. There's a lot of people. You can just look on the mutual aid pages, different, that page, you'll find out who's doing it.
Can we also talk about all right, so homelessness in Brockton, and specifically here we are, we're approaching the holidays, a time, for season's greetings. And I want to know, I noticed that during COVID, the pandemic, it seemed like we had more resources available to homelessness than I've ever seen in the history of my time in Brockton, as well as just generally the history in America. I've never seen those kind of resources deployed. And those resources included infrastructure for people to have housing. And I'm curious to know, do those COVID resources, the infrastructure that was built up during COVID for homelessness, does that still exist now as a resource for homelessness, or do they have less resources?
I was sent, if you don't mind me stepping in, I was talking to Jerry Cassidy, and there was supposed to be a meeting set up last week between him, Jerry, myself, a member of Father Bill's, and Pastor Roberto Silva, to explain the new the allocation of the funds that were just released by the state, that was approved by the state reps. I don't really understand it myself. Do you know anything about this for the homeless?
Allocations, you said homelessness, but is there a program name?
I can look it up. I just saw it on Jerry's page that he sent me a link, but I'm having trouble linking to it. I wanted to send it to you, so that maybe I haven't been able to get it from Jerry. I got it from Jerry, but I can't open it. I don't understand. Okay. Maybe it's the form.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I would be more than happy to read it. I mean, I am very concerned, it's getting colder out, and I'm worried about, here in Brockton, I feel we have a lot of resources from the city point of view. I really don't think it's a money issue, right? I think we have resources here in Brockton, but then I also can see we have a community of people who are, when I say they're underserviced, I can see we have people who do not have adequate housing, access to heat, access to food. So these are insecurities that exist, but I also am aware that the city has a large pot of money that was given by the federal government in order to offset with a lot of adversities that exist here in our society. And it doesn't be unique to COVID. I mean, COVID really had a multiplier adverse impact on our community. And so when we have all these monies available, I'd like to know and gain assurance that the city's doing everything they can to meet our unique service needs, especially when it comes to homelessness and food insecurity. And so, John, I appreciate you just mentioned Jerry Cassidy and the state might be giving us money for a program of homelessness, but do we know who the central point of contact is in Brockton for the city to ensure homelessness or service?
I do not, and I wish I did. It would save me a lot of trips to the woods, delivering food, clothes, and health supplies myself and our organizations. Because if that person could help offset some of that and show that they're the ones that are supposed to be responsible for getting the people out of these tents and that are homeless, I'd really like to meet that person. Okay,
so here's what I'm going to do, John. After our call today, I'm going to send an email to the mayor and to the city clerk, and I'm going to CC you in on that communication. And I'm going to ask them the same question I asked just now. Do we have a central point of contact for someone to refer to who has challenges with homelessness, food insecurity, and if there's anything additional they can provide by email so we're aware, so we can make sure these people get or service, especially during times that are cold. I mean, I can't help but bring that up. Like, the cold is a big deal. That's why one of the main reasons why we need shelter. So, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's what I'll do. That'll be my action point. And then I'm hoping that between myself, you, John, and anyone else who else is interested in ensuring that the city of Brockton services enhances our ability to service the homeless population, I'm happy to include you as part of this conversation. I know that this has been going on much longer than I've ever even been in Brockton. So I am new to the battle to end homelessness in Brockton. So I want to enlist as many people who've been a part of this, this addressing this challenge as possible.
You see me on that, Jamal and John, if you ever need any help for volunteers with what you're doing. I don't know you, but it sounds like you're doing direct action with the homeless. I'm more than happy to help. I've got free time on my hands every once in a while. Let me know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And, I'm on Messenger, and I think you are too, so you can get a hold of me that way.
Copy me as well, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you know anybody that is short on staff on Christmas Day, right now my plan is to go with my friend Larry at the Central Methodist Church on Elm Street, where they're going to be doing dinners for the homeless, etc. But they sound pretty well staffed, so if anybody's short, I could certainly pitch in because I'm free on Christmas Day.
I know that today there's I think it's again, I'm sorry. My links are just flying by me so quick. The Jubilee Christmas party today that's giving out toys and setting people up for Christmas dinners over on the Brockton Stoughton line is looking for volunteers for Christmas morning and Christmas Eve. I know that one right there. They're flying by. I apologize.
Yeah. All right. So when you get a chance, let me know the details on that one, because I'm on the west side. So the Brockton Stoughton line is right next to me. You know me.
Fantastic. I will try to send
Anyway,
you
so back to what Jamal was saying. Yeah, I definitely, that's a great question, and we need that answer, is who is going to be the organizer or the central point of contact on homelessness issues that we need to know.
Definitely.
Okay, cool, awesome. Now moving on. Now at this point in time, it's 12:05. We've got 10 minutes scheduled left in our program. There's a couple things that we did not discuss weekend. One is there's an accounts committee meeting scheduled for Monday, December 20th. The accounts committee is really the committee that meets to describe or do a reconciliation. Ooh, Sharon Baker wants to join. Let me add her to the call. So what it is that, yeah, the accounts committee, when they, so they're scheduled to meet December 20th, and the agenda, let me just kind of do a little screen share so you can see what the agenda looks like. Okay, so currently on screen, let me know if you can see it, but we've got, this is the accounts committee agenda. And when you see it, do you feel that this agenda provides sufficient information for you?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. And if you're going to review the POs from the November 15th meeting, list them. Review AP warrant, and you list 2 of them. Say what they are. The person that leads this is very familiar with what an agenda should look like based on what they see at the city council meeting, at a finance committee meeting. They're very familiar with what an agenda should look like. And this definitely is not it.
This is very vague. I have no idea what this is. This is the first time I've seen one of these, and there usually is more information. Am I correct?
No.
Yes, this is not transparent at all.
Yeah, so John, I'm sorry, to answer John's question, John asked, is this what a typical agenda looks like for the accounts committee? And in my observation, I might be wrong, but in my observation, this is exactly what a Brockton accounts committee agenda looks like. Yep. Every single meeting. It's very vague. There's not enough detail. It's not clear if the author of this agenda even know what the goal of the meeting was, because if they did, then the agenda should have much more detail. So let's also
Noted.
discuss, does anyone, in fact, let me just pause this so we can look at each other. And okay, does anyone know here, what's the purpose of the accounts committee meeting here in the city of Brockton? Let's just talk about that. What is the purpose?
But I gathered from when I watched it, it seems like just a place where whoever's on the committee can ask who's ever in charge of certain funds, what does this expenditure mean? Can you clarify this expenditure? I didn't really get much more than that.
Mhm.
So that basically if someone didn't see something and think to ask a question, questions might not get asked.
I've never seen one or participated in one.
They just recently started re-recording them. They had, for some reason, the last one had been, I believe, May of this year, and then they stopped recording them. And then they had the last one, Jamal, was that a November one when they recorded for the first time?
Yeah, that's correct. Or yeah. and-
Again, we resumed recording,
Yeah.
I should say.
Mhm. What I'm
So there's no,
okay.
no, go ahead.
Well, yeah, what I'm sharing right now, so this is just a random, accounts committee meeting agenda from April 20th. And this is to give you another observation from a different time point of, you can see the agenda format is pretty similar. We're looking at, in this case, it's 3 items, but it's consistent that it does not provide enough detail. So it's not clear what they're talking about. When you observe the accounts, so at the last meeting that took place, there was one person from the public who attended in person. So it's not a topic that people from the public, out of a population of 105,000 people, the city of Brockton, the council approved a budget of $493 million to spend in 22 fiscal year budget. But it's not clear that anyone from the public really attends these meetings to verify what's taking place or how it's adding value to their life experience living in Brockton. Why don't they do that? I don't know why. But what I can see when you watch the last meeting and they're going through expenses paid by the city council, it looks like it's a meeting where it's an opportunity for city councilors to ask for more information regarding expenditures made by the city. John, you've lived in Brockton for how long?
Since 1984.
1984?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So I guess the question is, the council committee meeting can be found on YouTube. It is valuable. It is a valuable meeting because it's an opportunity for the city councilors to question, or the ones that sit on that committee. It's an opportunity for them to question, not just question, to get to the details of on certain line items that are being spent, so they can gain a greater understanding and provide assurance to the public that the way we're spending our money is exactly as it's reported. So if anyone wants to learn more, they can attend that accounts committee meeting taking place at 6 p.m. in the guard room. So. Cool, awesome. All right, I'm going to pause. It's 12:12. Let's open up the forum. Does anyone have anything they want to talk about? Maybe you applied for ARPA grant funds. Maybe you want to talk about that. Maybe there's a stoplight that's not working, that you want more attention on that stoplight. Maybe you're worried because you see on Main Street in Brockton, there are no trash cans. There's no trash bins to put trash, but you see trash all over the street. And you want to know, why don't we have trash bins on Main Street? We want to hear about it and identify how we can solve these problems. But is there anything people want to talk about?
Just going to wish everybody a safe holiday season. And I hope to see you after Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And the same to everybody else. Happy holidays. I take it we're not meeting next Sunday, right, Jamal? Take a little break.
Yeah, today is Sunday the 19th. I'd say what we'll do is we'll take a 2-week break so that we can enjoy this time of the year with our family. And we'll reconvene in the new year, 2022. The new year, new slate, and fresh ideas to solve the problems and the challenges that we have here in the city of Brockton. John, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody for the invite, Jamal, and that I'm looking forward to the next meeting. But I'm wishing everybody a happy holiday and special a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you, Wislin. We see your message. She's saying, have a great day, everyone. Happy holidays. Yeah, I want to thank everyone. Thank you so much for joining. If anyone wants to reach out to me, I'm always available. You know, my number is 774-428-1525. Otherwise, I hope you have a great holiday and a happy new year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.